Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody, to our meeting today. I'm Lisa Mangione, the current president for the Rotary Club of Greenville. It is so great to see everybody here for Career Day. Welcome to everybody from the school district and all the students. We're very glad to have you. Roger, would you like to come up for the invocation and pledge?
Hi, everybody, and a welcome from my side as well. Would you please stand for me for the invocation? As we gather here for our annual Career Day, let us take a moment to reflect on the immense potential within each of these high school students that have joined us here today. They will be the builders of tomorrow's world, and they will shape businesses and industries that are still yet unknown. May this Career Day be more than a mere exploration of vocations. Let it be a voyage into a place of passion and purpose. May these young minds find inspiration in the diverse array of professionals before them, discovering not just jobs, but callings that resonate with their unique gifts. And let us as Rotarians pledge our support in guiding these ambitious young men and women, helping them to make decisions that will propel them toward a future filled with purpose, impact, and of course, service. In the spirit of Rotary, let us help to empower the next generation to embrace the opportunities that lie ahead, knowing that their aspirations hold the key to a brighter, more connected world. And would you join me for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Laura, where's Laura? There you, okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Laura Nicholas. I have the pleasure of introducing the guests who are here with us today, as well as our visiting Rotarians. So when I read your name, if you could stand or wave your hand so we can all welcome you together. First of all, let's welcome Lauren Marvin, who is a guest of Lonnie Decker. Right. Joseph Butler, who's also a guest of Lonnie Decker. Anna Karageorgiou, who is a guest of Jane Dyer. Steve Lanzel, who's a guest of Connie Lanzel. David Veach, who's a guest of Laura Nicholas. Rashida Green, who's a guest of Scott Stevens. Don Kuntz, who's a guest of Scott Stevens. Great. And those are all our guests. And now for our visiting Rotarians, we do have David Goff from Winchester, Virginia, and Dave Brenner. Welcome.
They're overworking me today. I'm here to talk a little bit about Discover Rotary, and I'm going to ask all of you to do yourselves a favor, your friends a favor, and the club a favor. I'm going to back up for a second. Some of you know my Rotary story, some of you don't. My dad was a lifelong Rotarian up in Michigan where I grew up. And part of growing up with that is you get this old mental model of Rotary in your head, and my dad always said it was attendance above service above self. And with that in mind, I couldn't make it to a meeting every week, and I didn't want to pay fines when I missed them. And that was my model. And now knowing what Rotary really isn't, I feel kind of cheated. And I wish somebody from this club would have reached out to me 20 or 25 years ago and said, Roger, this is what it is. And it didn't happen. So I missed 20 or 25 years of Rotary membership, not joining until I was retired 5 years ago now. And I think there are probably some other Rogers out there. Well, not Rogers, hopefully not any other Rogers, but I think this would have been a huge benefit to me during my working life. And I think it probably would have benefited the club a little bit as well with a little humility, but we missed out on all that. So I'm convinced that there are a lot of me's and they're just waiting for a lot of yous to come up and tell them about Rotary and get them to come to a Discover Rotary meeting so they can learn about it themselves. So do yourself a favor. Invite someone you know to join us at Discover Rotary. It's not that hard. They're going to thank you later, and you're going to help expand the business network of this club, the people that you have to go to when you might need something down the road. For them, it's going to become an invaluable resource like it has for me, a great social network, a great business network, and a great place to do good in the community. It's kind of one-stop shopping, as I always say. And what does this do for the club? I mean, I think it's obvious. We get new members, we get new ideas, we get new energy, we get more hands for all these service projects that we're doing. And also has to be said, we get some more wallets involved as well. So it's an easy ask. I don't want you to go out and tell the Rotary story. You don't have to name the founding fathers to your friends. You don't have to bring me a completed application for a Rotarian. You don't have to buy anybody lunch. I'm just asking each and every one of you Rotarians to find a friend, a colleague, a supplier, a customer, a neighbor, and bring them to a Discover Rotary event. If you look on your table, there's a couple of things, if I can find them here. This is kind of a list. Beth Padgett put this together for us. It shows the kind of the companies and professionals that we would like to see in our club. Now, if your company or profession is not on here, that doesn't mean we don't want you. Don't make that inference leap, please. But this is kind of what we're looking for here. So take that with you. Maybe it serves as a thought starter for people that you might know in your life that fit into this. And there's also a little schedule of Discover Rotaries coming up. We usually do them twice a month. We do one in the evening that's done on Zoom, and then we do one usually before the second meeting of the month at 11 o'clock here in the Westin. Bring your friends. Terry does a great job with Discover Rotary. Jane's done a great job revamping the curriculum of the Discover Rotary to I guess I should say, to update it. That is kind of key towards our club's future. I'm trying to find my place in my script that I lost here. Anyhow, the last thing, that's what I was trying to find. What's in it for me? There's one more thing. The board has discussed this. For every person you bring to Discover Rotary or get to Discover Rotary, as long as supplies last, you will get 250 Paul Harris Fellow points. So that will help you get there faster. It's 250 points. That's 25% towards Paul Harris or your next level on the Paul Harris tree. I said, as long as supplies last, there's kind of conflicting information about how many points we have. Jane has told me it's millions and millions. Beth contradicted her and told me it's bazillions. So it's somewhere in there. But anyhow, please, I mean this with all my heart and soul. Bring your friends, get your friends, colleagues, suppliers, work colleagues to a Discover Rotary soon. Thank you.
Welcome to Career Day. This is my favorite meeting of the year. I just love having all these wonderful young leaders with us for the meeting. We want to thank Greenville Technical College for sponsoring today's event. The college is covering the cost of your lunch if you're a student or a guest facilitator and parking expenses. We also want to thank, and please stand when I call your name. I'm not going to call everybody, I promise. Rebecca Donnering, is that how you say it? Anyway, unfortunately, Rebecca is sick, and so she is not with us today, but that's okay. We're covered with others from the school district. So I'd like for the Greenville County counselors to stand up, please. If you are from Greenville County and you are a counselor or a chaperone here, please stand up. Stand up. Okay, yay, guys. Thank you. Jean, I'd like Jean Shu to stand up. Jean is the Charter High School College and Career Readiness Coordinator, and her colleagues. Where's Jean? Oh, hi, Jean. I would like the Rotary greeters who met you in the garage and or helped you find a seat in here to please stand up. Come on, you guys, you're here. Laura, you were a greeter. Greeters, stand up. I would like all of the Rotarians who volunteered to host a roundtable to stand up. Yay. And now all of the students who found your way here through the parking garage to this room and are willing to make this afternoon an awesome event for you. Stand up, students. Yay. Okay, thank you. Thanks to everybody. And if I didn't call your group, I'm sorry. It's greatly appreciated that you're here. Now I'd like to introduce Chris Woodleaf from the Greenville County Schools. The Greenville County Schools Work-Based Learning Team, part of the Office of Career and Technical Education for the district. This team is a vital component for our educational landscape with real-world experiential learning opportunities. Chris currently serves as the team lead. He and his team work throughout the district with a commitment to create unique opportunities for high school students through collaboration with businesses across the upstate. He and his team strive every day to lead our future generations and to succeed both personally and professionally. Welcome, Chris.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I love Rotary. I love this day as well. And so appreciate all the time and effort that's put into here. Before we kind of talk about work-based learning, I want to briefly just share a few stories of our students because this is what we talk about. This is why we're here. So I want to introduce you to Alex Massey. Alex was a firefighting student for our district. Alex, during his time at the Career Center, spent three different experiences in work-based learning at fire stations. When Alex graduated, he graduated with Firefighter 1 certification, Firefighter 2 certification, and an EMT certification. Now, if you know anything about that world, that's necessary to become a firefighter. And he did that in high school, so he was already a level up. Pablo, jail man's valedictorian last year, great kid. I mean, he checked all the boxes early. He was early admission to college. You know, why would Pablo want to do an internship? Because Pablo said there's probably value in this. And you want to talk about personal growth. Pablo, going through that internship with Rogers and Colcott, he really gained a lot of knowledge to help him when he graduates from high school and when he graduates from college. And then Kaya, culinary student. Kaya worked 2 years with Lazy Goat, not cleaning tables, not washing dishes, prep cook, line cook. She was mentored by the executive chef and his wife there. But all these students walked away with a work-based learning experience with getting the competitive advantage, whether it was going through college. Kaya is now at the Culinary Institute of America outside of New York City. So a big, big deal. So you see that little logo right by these pictures, G+. And this is what this is an initiative that our district is doing to say, not only do we want our students to graduate with a diploma, we also want them to graduate with college credit or an industry certification or work-based learning experience. And so work-based learning is where we can send students out to get a profession-based experience, get that learning, real-world learning while in high school. And so it's done through 3 ways. The state recognizes 3 different levels of this where we can count their work-based learning for college and career readiness. And that's primarily through co-ops, apprenticeships, and internships. Now you think about interns and apprentices mostly through college, but we have it set up through a robust program through our high schools. And so the state recognizes this. So these students get credit towards their graduation, but it's more than just that. They get to walk away with just personal and professional growth that we've talked about. And so we do that through 2 ways, really. Experiential learning, where students can go out potentially up to 4 days a week and work if they're in a career center, or even after school where they're getting those opportunities. But we also invite business to come to us. Give us a real world problem. Come see what our students are learning. Let's try to find a solution to your problem. We're working that every day and doing that in our own businesses. So all we need to do for a student to get this is for them to get 40 hours of training, minimum of 40 hours of training. That's not per week. That's like, throughout the school year. A training plan, which is really a job description and some objectives, and an evaluation that we share with them, again, for that personal and professional growth. That's it. It's very low risk. These are mostly paid opportunities for these students. They're getting paid instead of being in class, and they're getting to learn. And it's a pipeline. We talk about labor shortage. We talk about talent pipeline. This is a way to do it. Well, you may ask, Chris, what about them being not 18, under 18? Well, I'm glad you asked. We actually have some things in place. We've got some insurance that will help. Those who are enrolled into Career and Technical Education Center, these are things that can be exempt from some Department of Labor type hazardous occupations. There's a lot of things. We have a great work-based learning team who's around this room here. There's 5 or 6 of us in our district who are working to help these students. So please talk to one of us. Let us know how we can serve you as a business or maybe some of your colleagues. So I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Chris. Some amazing opportunities for the students as well as for some business owners in here. We're fortunate today to hear from several members and guests about their career paths and give us some pearls of wisdom. Our member, Mateo Knowles, Vice President for Student Services at Greenville Technical College, was supposed to be our moderator. She texted me at 7:30 yesterday morning to say she has COVID with symptoms. So she's on the mend. She's going to be okay. But she didn't want to expose anybody, and I really appreciate that. We leave for Egypt on Friday, and I don't want to get sick before we leave on that trip. So Amy Wood, our member, who is a news anchor at Channel 7, agreed yesterday afternoon to take over for Mateel. And so please welcome Amy. She's going to moderate several panelists. They have about 3 minutes each to talk about their career paths. Before they start, Amy will give you a little information about today's sponsor, Greenville Technical College, and let you know about 2 amazing Rotary opportunities for students. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys, are you excited to be here? You're going to get to sample areas of interest that you guys are thinking about, which is so cool. And I want to tell you, it was a career day for me back in the olden days that I went to a newspaper and I had no idea I wanted to go into journalism, no clue, but it was one of those sort of just try things moments. And let me tell you, that was the click that happened. I actually spoke up. I remind you today to speak up and ask questions. And I spoke up and said something to the editor of the newspaper. And he called my teacher a week later and said, she seems to have good instincts. I would like her to start volunteering after school and coming to the paper and trying out journalism. And lo and behold, kind of worked out for me. So make sure you speak up and take the opportunity. Don't be afraid. We're all like so excited to talk to you guys. We want to answer your questions and we hope you have a really great experience today. First of all, Greenville Technical College, we have some slides to show you. I don't know if, oh, there they are. Oh, and they're going to get really big. Okay. Greenville Technical College is the sponsor today, and they want to remind you, as you look at your post-high school experience and education, that you have an opportunity to be trained professionally at a place like this, to walk into jobs that are paying, am I right, $90,000, $100,000 a year. People don't understand. Like a lot of people think that the manufacturing industry is like what they think of when their grandparents were working in textile places. But it's not like that anymore. These factories are beautiful. They have the worker in mind. They do all kinds of things to make the job interesting and compelling. They change your job responsibilities sometimes to give you a new opportunity. So don't think of those technical training paths as boring, because they are high paying and you are needed in these fields. Our community needs you so badly. So Greenville Tech is a great place to go and explore that. They've got a variety of areas, okay? I mentioned the manufacturing side. You got School of Health and Sciences, Economic Development, Corporate Training, School of Engineering and Technology, and then the others on the other side of the screen over there. So a wide variety of areas of interest. So keep Greenville Tech, our sponsor, in mind. And again, this is their QR code if you want to enroll. Boys and girls,
pull up your phones, grab that if you need it. And we hope that you guys can enjoy the opportunities that Greenville Tech provides. All right, so we have got a couple of programs within Rotary that are very relevant to the high school student, which is you guys. So let me read through a little bit about these programs. There are some flyers on your tables, I believe, that will help you to understand these programs. One of them is called RILA, and this is the first one I'm going to talk about. But this is the idea of it. How would you like to have a week of fun while making new friends from all over Western South Carolina as you develop leadership and teamwork skills? If that sounds interesting, RILA, or what is called Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, are the thing for you. RILA is a program designed for rising juniors, rising seniors. It focuses on developing leadership skills. It involves, what I'm told, are seminars, workshops, team building activities, along with empowering you as a student to become an effective leader in your community. This year, RILA will be held at Erskine College, Sunday, June 9th through Friday, June 14th. So keep those dates in mind as you plan your summer and think about this program. During the week, you get the opportunity to hear from inspirational speakers. You work in small groups. Counselors help you do projects. You complete them with some of the other groups as well, or actually, rather, you compete. Ooh, no cooperation involved at all there. You are competing against the other guys. Sorry about that. Misread that. That's just one letter, and it made a whole lot of difference. Okay. With other groups. Also, in addition, RILA graduates are eligible for $5,000 scholarships to Erskine should you elect to attend and you are accepted. If you're interested in this fun and rewarding experience, you must have your school counselor complete a recommendation and submit it to a Rotary Club. So be really nice to your school counselor and let your school guidance counselor know if you would like to be considered. If you are accepted to the RILA program, Rotary Club will sponsor 2 students at no cost. At your table, there is that flyer, as I mentioned. Use the QR code, another one of those. We're really into QR codes, all of us these days, and apply. It's a great opportunity. Think about it for your summer. The other program is on a little bitty card. This is the Rotary Youth Exchange Program. So this is about really broadening your horizons. Like we're talking getting out of the country. RI, as they call it, is a way for you to explore other cultures and make lifelong friendships. Rotary Youth Exchange is a study abroad that gives you the chance to spend a few weeks or even a full year living in another country with a host family, attending school, immersing yourself in a new way of life. The opportunity is available both before and after high school. To qualify, you need to be between 15 and 18 and a half years old. You need to be academically above average, open-minded, willing to embrace new experiences. If you've shown leadership in your school or community and you want to represent your country as an ambassador, this could be a really good fit for you. The best part, local Rotary clubs generously host students, providing room and board with caring host families, free school attendance, even a small monthly allowance. The cost can vary from country to country, but participants are responsible for airfare, insurance, travel documents, and extra spending. I don't know if you've ever seen people do this, but you're probably sitting there going, I don't have the money for that. But I'm telling you, start a GoFundMe, go speak to local groups. You can raise the money. If you want to go, you can find a way to do this. So if you're ready to embark on that adventure, pull out the card. Is there a QR code? Nope. Just going to have to, there's an email. So email them and get the information. Like it wouldn't hurt you to get the information just as you sit there and plot out and plan your next year or two and your opportunities for the future. With that, I would love to invite our panelists up. We've got 3 wonderful people. They're very close to the chairs. I'm going to put this chair up so everyone can have a seat. Okay, Jane Dyer is going to be in the middle. Jeremy, you're going to be on the end. And we've got Julio Hernandez. He is from Clemson University. So he's a really cool job. He is the assistant to the president, Jim Clements. You all know, I'm sure. And he knows Dabo. I'm just saying. And all the stars of Clemson. And PJ. Yeah, we know all the good athletes. Okay. He also is in charge with community outreach and community relations and just kind of getting engaged in the community. So really cool job. I can't wait to hear about his career path. Jane is a retired yet super busy airline pilot and was on international flights. She wasn't just like Greenville to Spartanburg or to whatever, she was going over to Europe and Frankfurt and all over in the world. So we will hear about her travels and how she wound up on that path. And Jeremy is an engineer and also like, I think our favorite new Rotarian because he does everything. We love him. He's like every project we have, he gets involved. And if you guys think Rotary isn't, for you at the moment, it probably isn't. But all those youth programs are perfect. And when you get out in the real world, come join us because it's really a fun group. All right, let's start off with our panel. We're going to start with Julio. I'm sure Julio has to get out in the community quite a bunch. Let's talk a little bit about how you wound up where you are and what it was like on your career path, maybe things people can take away from your experience.
Well, good afternoon again. It's nice to be here with all of you. Amy, if you had asked me many years ago if would I imagine having the coolest job on this planet, it would be very. I would have asked you, are you sure? Because many years ago, I would not imagine being in this space. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I'm the first one in my family to make it to middle school and high school, so I'm first generation college graduate. I grew up in elementary not speaking any English, so I took a lot of ESL classes or English as a second language. And I remember my mom, she was a janitor during the day. My dad was also a welder. And then their second job, my mom was again a janitor in the evenings, and my dad was a janitor in the evenings. But they always talked about how an education would open opportunities for me. And when I was your age, I really didn't see life. I was seeing life this way. They were seeing life from this way. And they were so right. They said, Julio, when you get an education, it's going to open not only opportunities, but it's going to get you out of this neighborhood. And she said, one thing she really highlighted is that, Julio, it's okay not to know everything, but make sure that you get connected to somebody that can connect you to point B. Just get to a point B. Someone will help you get connected to that. And in many cases, it was my teachers, it was my counselors, and it was just getting to point B. Whether it be scholarships, financial aid, what career, what college, what environment, it was all about getting to point B. Well, fast forward, right? I started paying attention. What are the things that excited me the most? There's all these different popular fields, accounting, doctor and so forth. But I started paying attention that made me feel alive. And it was always related to something giving back into the community. I was a campus director at Greenville Tech many years ago. I used to work at the city of San Antonio and the Department of Community Initiatives. But even with a degree in international business and a master's in leadership and management, and now I'm starting at Clemson, my PhD, I always paid attention what made me feel real alive. And it was always finding a way how to give back to the community. And that was something that I pass on to you, to pay attention. What is it that makes you feel alive? Because when that does happen, you're going to be putting that extra foot forward. And then last but not least, I'll leave you with this. And it's something I learned at Clemson. I've been at Clemson 7 years, and in those 7 years, I've been promoted 3 times. The job that I've had didn't exist. And Clemson has taught me that visualize what the standard is or where the best is, right? Visualize what the best looks like, create it, package it, and find someone to believe in that, and someone will believe in you. And so I never imagined when President Clemens said, I've got this cool job, would you like to have it, where you represent the Clemson family across 46 counties and 271 cities. I'd never imagined that, dreams do come true.
Bravo. If there was one mistake or one gem that you would go, okay, don't ever do this. Is there anything you could give them as a little quick piece of advice?
Yes, believe in yourself more. So when you're the first one in your family to make it to high school, and you're the first one to take the SAT, or the first one to submit an college application, and you're just first, it's so easy to doubt yourself and saying, is that good enough? But if you believe in yourself, it will attract other people to believe in you as well. So something I would have done a little bit more or a little better is to believe in myself. But I'm very glad that I've now built momentum where I believe in myself, number one, and I've got good teammates around me that believe in me too.
Really quickly, I know I follow up, but journalist, how do you, if you are lacking in belief in yourself, what is your best piece of advice to believe in yourself?
One thing I believe is when it comes to confidence, I try not to base confidence or believe myself on skill or ability, because if I focus on that too much, then it can slide into arrogance. But one thing I focus when it comes to confidence and believe in myself is, what do I genuinely believe in my heart? Right? I was telling Jeremy, my colleague, who's coming up soon, that I'm an introvert. And that means public speaking. Oh my gosh, I'm like, my heart's beating really fast. However, what I told you just a few minutes ago, I believe it with all my heart. And when I tell you what's in my heart, I truly believe what's in my heart, it calms me and I can be present with you. So if for some reason you doubt yourself, come down to your very heart. What do you truly believe in? What is it you truly believe in? And that will give you the momentum to take the first step. And there's a saying that the journey of 1,000 steps begins with one step, right? So just continue to take that one step.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Jane is our pilot. How on earth, how in the sky did you come up with this plan? I mean, it's such a cool job.
It is the coolest job. I hate to tell you. So thanks to Clemson University, my dad graduated from Clemson. I'm one of number 6 out of 8 children. We were all going to Clemson. And so I was looking for ways to help fund that. So I joined Air Force ROTC, and in mechanical engineering, they gave me a full scholarship. So I was on that path. And the interesting thing is, when I graduated from high school, women were not allowed to fly in the military. So I didn't grow up thinking I'm gonna grow up to be a pilot. But when I was in Air Force ROTC, I got to go for a flight in a twin engine Air Force trainer. And I had a lieutenant colonel who was my pilot. And he said, today's job is a beautiful blue sky, big old white puffy clouds, was to go around those clouds as close as we can get without touching them. Oh my gosh, we did loops, we did rolls, we went upside down. It was so exciting. But I did notice when we landed, not everybody had that much fun. There were a lot of green faces. People didn't want to do it anymore. And so I was hooked. So luckily at Clemson and Air Force ROTC, I applied to be a pilot and got to go to Air Force pilot training, which was interesting, exciting. I was the only gal in Del Rio, Texas, a bunch of Texas Aggies. So they were not very excited to have a woman, because if you have not been a minority, you will find out that there are oftentimes people who don't think you should be there, that no matter what you do, you're not good enough. And so that leads me to just say what Julio did, that you have to first be prepared to embrace opportunity, whatever they are. Growing up in Easley, South Carolina, going to Clemson, I never thought I'd get to be a pilot. Second, you've got to believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself, because there are people who will question you and judge you and tell you you can't. You just keep on doing. It's all about the results. Just keep on doing. And then the third thing I would like to say, I didn't really copy his whole talk, was that I have found in my life that my career is amazing. And right now, if you're interested in being a pilot, there has never been the opportunity like today. I don't want to say this out loud too much, but you don't even have to have your college degree anymore. There are programs, if you go online and Google it, they can take you from no flying time to being a pilot at a major airline in 3 to 4 years. So, and it is so fun. I mean, even not my first flight, but everyone after that. It's just super challenging and fun. So I would highly recommend you look into it. So be ready to embrace opportunity, to have faith in yourself, and find some way to help somebody else. Be it a young person, an older person, in your community, your church, maybe even your family. Sometimes there's always an opportunity to do that. And I found that to be very worthwhile.
Quick question about, thank you, Jane. Clap, clap. Yes, that was great. Quick question about when you would encounter the people who said you weren't good enough, et cetera. Like how how did you actually, like, is there an example of a case of that where you could help other young people who might face those obstacles? How do you handle that in the moment?
In my pilot training class, like I said, I was the one of 60, and we had to vote on 5 goals for our class. And they literally voted that we graduate with no women in the class. They really didn't want me. I'm telling you, to come from Easley, South Carolina and grow up in Greenville and people hate you suddenly, you're going, wait a minute. But it was, a lot of that unfortunately has to do with society and what people expected. Because, these guys told their parents back home or their family and friends, I'm going to go be a fighter pilot. And then there are women doing the same thing. I mean, it just was a whole new way of doing things. So once again, to believe in yourself, and then I will never forget, because when you sign up in the Air Force and they teach you to fly, they've invested a lot of money. It's not like you can just quit. You have like a 7-year commitment. And we flew to England, landed, and this major met our airplane, and he came up to me and he gave me the story I'd heard several times about why he didn't think women should be flying airplanes and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, well, go talk to the Secretary of the Air Force, I'm just doing my job. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I will say I have friends who did get very emotionally hurt by it. But if you're in a place that you didn't expect to be, there's a reason you're there. And you just got to keep on going and try to make the best of it and realize most of those people give you a hard time is because they are insecure and they have problems. So
Thank you. Appreciate you. What a great, and thank you for your service too. Thank you for your service, ma'am. All right, Jeremy Hart. This is Jeremy Hart, engineer. In high school though, did you make some choices that were important or interesting that impacted your pathway?
I guess so.
Okay.
Well, growing up, I didn't really know what I wanted to be. I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian, but it turns out I'm a big softie and I could never put an animal down if I had to. I thought I wanted to be a history teacher, and then I found out I'm not good talking in public. Y'all find that out right now. And so anyways, I grew up and I liked doing puzzles, like building model scales and building things outside forts and whatnot. And I went to a vocational high school, so I was exposed a lot to the STEM programs and all of that. So came home one night and my stepdad was like, "You make a good engineer." And so I said, well, I can't argue. So I decided to go to school for that. So after high school, graduated and put my interest in a local college in Atlanta and somehow got in. So that was awesome. So I went to Georgia Tech for undergrad and was first in my family to graduate from college. So it was very cool, just like Julio. So yeah, so that was it. And that was the question. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah. We're talking about turning points. Like there was something that happened in the middle of your.
Oh, so
career
in the
that
turning
kinda-
point. So anyways, I graduated from college during the recession. So it was very hard to come by jobs. I went to a career fair where there was only, and I graduated with a degree in civil engineering. So I went to a career fair where there was only 2 civil engineering firms there. Only one of them was hiring a civil engineer, and the line was 35 people deep, including like professional engineers in their 30s and 40s that had got laid off. So I was like, there is no way I'm going to get that. So I went ahead and went back home. But anyway, so after several months of searching for jobs and working part-time for a contractor, I decided to go back to school, try to get another degree that would maybe help my engineering degree be a little bit more valuable, or where somebody would want to hire me more during the recession, and then also maybe just to help just generally. So I went back got a business degree at Georgia Southern University, and that helped me get in the door at my current work, which is EMC Engineering Services. So they hired me as an intern, and then there was no engineering jobs available, so I had to kind of change what I thought my career path was supposed to be, and I started helping them with marketing. So worked on a bunch of proposals and everything. So that was kind of not really what I had thought was my ideal career path. But anyways, that eventually led back into me going back the engineering route, and then kind of that experience and knowledge with the marketing and kind of the back end things on how we brought projects and stuff in. That helped me within my career. And that helped me advance to become a project manager and then the branch manager there in the local office, and then an associate owner, and then moving up here to Greenville to start a new office and operations up here in South Carolina. So it's been fun. Yes, ma'am. But
Oh, sorry. And in terms of, advice that you might have for young people as they make their decisions and try things out, any wisdom, any gems for them?
yes, ma'am. So I prepared this response before I heard y'all's response. I did. But, and it's going to be the same thing essentially, but looking back on my career, you will be presented with a vast amount of different opportunities as you start your career. Consider all of them with an open mind, and, always say yes to new responsibilities and, new opportunities as they come, and success will follow.
All right. We have a great panel. Thank you to our panel. And if any of our students would like to ask, oh, I'm sorry, my light is on. If anyone would like to ask a question, please raise your hand and I'll bring the mic to you. Okay.
So this is for Julio. When you were saying the about the believe in what you truly believe and like go down and dig into that, how do you differentiate the beliefs that you have compared to what is forced upon you, whether it be subconsciously or by other people?
That's a great question. It was interesting. I remember my mom, so she, as a janitor, she was taking the garbage out of CPAs, lawyers, all this oil company, and she would look at their degrees and she says, you've got to do this, you got to do that. And they're great professions, right? Great professions. They do really well. And I've seen some very happy accountants and very happy lawyers and so forth. But I remember telling my mom, that's not me, right? And I still didn't know what I was going to do, but I did remember what she said. I just got to get to my point B. My point B is like, well, I definitely need to go to college. In college, I said, well, I've got to also just see, explore some other opportunities. And it was when I was working when I was in higher education, I was doing a work study job. And that work study, the director of financial aid, she said, Julio, you're really good with people. And I was like, well, I want to make sure that as a work study student, I help people out how to get financial aid. And she was like, well, let's just give you some more responsibility. And again, my parents were, well, you got to do this, you got to do that based on what they were saying. And I know my parents came from a very good place because life had taught them other lessons, right? But deep in my belief, I said, there's just something that, that's not me, something, I'm going to do something else. And every time I focused on what I truly believed, it kept getting me connected to someone that was in that space. And then all of a sudden if I shared with you how many people, we line up all the people that helped me get to this chair, it would be for miles, a lot of miles to get it. So my advice to you is just continue to get to your point B. What's good about when you find something you believe in, it feels amazing. This work in community engagement, President Clemens has given me this big picture of what he thinks it's important to Clemson to be engaged in the community. But then I have that liberty to kind of dig deep inside what I believe is to make sure that Clemson's engaged in rural communities and schools and in all parts of South Carolina. And so stay true to yourself. Definitely welcome good advice and experience, but definitely don't underestimate future potential.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hands?
This is a question for Julio as well. I wanted to ask how you were able to find any advice or support as a first generation in college. How were you able to make it throughout your college life? And then after college, what were your opportunities like for jobs, knowing that you were the first in your family to actually go into that kind of career?
What's your name?
Rayshawn.
Rashad? Rashawn, I was scared. I'll be transparent. It was like being on the freeway with no car. Everything was coming my way. So scared. You know, as you continue to move forward, all of a sudden you get connected to other first generation individuals. I would find that my high school counselor was the first one in their family to go to college. I would find maybe an engineer that was first one in the family to go to college. I would find there's a whole community of first gen that really got me, and I would stay close to them because I knew they had charted 2 years, 3 years, 5 years ahead of me. And I would ask, what does it look like? How hard is it? Is there something that you think I should do? And so I would definitely seek out mentors that provided that. Even now, I'm 48 years old, and I still to this day look ahead. President Jim Clemens, he's the first one in his family to go to college. As I start for my PhD, he earned his PhD a long time ago, and I asked Jim, I'm really thinking about studying this. What do you think? Is this something really would be very impactful and relevant? He's a first gen, he's 58 years old, and he can give me advice about some things to navigate, potholes to avoid. And so as you continue to believe in yourself and just take one step forward and just get to your point B, you're going to be connected to other first gen. And at the same time, there's a lot of people that are not first gen, that were second, third, and fourth gen that want to support me. There's a lot of people in your school, in your community. And so make sure that you, bring your tribe really close to you, and be very vocal what you want to get to, and people will make sure that you get to your destination.
Yeah, sure.
This one's just a general question. How long, if it was years or maybe months after college, did you feel like you were in a place where you can say, okay, I'm fairly set, and now it's only up from here. I just have to look for more opportunities from where I am.
Oh, for me, it was probably 20 years when I finally got to be the captain, and then I got to decide if it was cold or hot in the cockpit. But it was still, I mean, I think in everything, there's always that struggle. And I wish I could have done better. I wish I'd, the learning curve along the way is always there. And it takes time, and you got different paths, and you learn more and more along the way. But it took me a while. And even as captain, I still made mistakes occasionally. Apparently not bad ones, because nobody's ever heard of me in the news, but.
Any other questions, or we're done? We're out of time, but all of these folks will be around at the various locations, and we all come back here at the end. So catch people when you can, and have a great time. I hope you enjoy the day.
Thank you so much, Amy, for moderating our panel. Thank you for our panelists for taking the time to be here and to share their knowledge with all the students. Hopefully everybody picked something up on that. We do have a book for those visiting today. We each week get a book and have our speakers. So this will be our panelists. So Julio, do not leave without signing the book. And we give this to the Alexander Elementary. Okay, things coming up. This Thursday is Coffee and Conversation at Cohesive at 9 a.m. Teacher treats that we were supposed to deliver this week. It is my understanding the treats have been delivered to Alexander Elementary, but we are not distributing them. They are doing it themselves. I don't have any other information on that except to relay that information to you. Okay, there are flyers out there for the Greer Rotary Club. We have people like to support our events, so we support those. If you're interested, it is their big fundraising event, Dining Around Greer. You can pick this up out there. It sounds good to me. I'm going, so if anybody wants to go. It's tasting tickets, and you're going to vote on appetizers and things like that. I believe it's $25 a ticket, and it's this Sunday. So if you are interested, you may pick that up out at the table. And what else do we have? Read Across America, the first full week in March. Keep a lookout for that, and please sign up to go read to a classroom at Alexander Elementary during that week. Don't forget to sign up for our hike on March 1st that we will be doing. That is out on DACDB. and we will be tailgating afterwards, having a little lunch there. Don't forget your cart buckets here for Alzheimer's research. And finally, in 2 weeks, Kelly, I saw Kelly here today. I'm not sure where there she is over there, will be speaking and talking to us about partners in agriculture. Okay, and those that are not hosting a table, Rotarians, may leave the room. No, we have to do our four-way test first. Okay, after I ring the bell, you may leave the room. Quickly, okay, Pam says quickly leave the room after I ring the bell so that we can get started on our career day with the students. And Pam will give directions on that. So let's all stand for the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Meeting adjourned. But those that are participating in Career Day, Pam now has directions for you.